Welcome back, Pauper people. Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing Pauper Mardu Reanimator. So this deck is mostly just Rakdos with a hint of white in it, and we'll cover why. We're actually going to go card by card in this deck tech, and if you like it, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I know a lot of you actually skip the deck tech, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. It's absolutely fine, but this one's going to be a little bit longer, or at least I plan on it being a little bit longer. So let's start off on the spells. We'll come back to the lands later. So we have 4 copies of Lotus Petal, and Lotus Petal is a card that allows our deck to be faster. In a lot of my Pauper videos, people ask if I could upload budget versions without it because it's so expensive. I'm actually just looking to play the best deck was possible. I don't care about budget. That's not a concern of mine. So I'm just looking to play the most competitive thing possible within the archetype that I choose for that day. So I do choose to play Lotus Petal. And then we have Simian Spirit Guide on top of 14 lands. So that's 22 initial mana sources, which seems a little bit high, but 8 of them are temporary. And we do want to cast some expensive cards like Late to Dinner. On top of that, we have Chromatic Star for color fixing, because once again, we're playing a splash of white for Late to Dinner. Actually, let's just cover Late to Dinner right now. So this is a card from Modern Horizons 2. It's 3 and a white for a sorcery. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a food token. And those food tokens are pretty helpful when red is the best deck in the format. We get to gain 3 life. I think that's going to be pretty relevant. So we're playing Late to Dinner to supplement the main card in the deck, which is Exhume. So Exhume says each player returns a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield, and well, let's look at the creatures. So we have Spined Megalodon, a 7 mana 5/7 with hexproof. Whenever it attacks, you can scry 1. That's pretty good, but really the thing here is that it's a 5/7 hexproof. Previously, I probably would have ran something like Striped Riverwinder instead, but the fact that Spined Megalodon gets to go into battle versus Tolarian Terrors or Gurmag Anglers, I think makes this one win. And the fact that it just gets to bully those cards a little bit. The main creature in this deck is Ulamog's Crusher. It's been around since Rise of the Eldrazi. It's an 8/8 for 8. It has Annihilator 2, and it has to attack each turn. So when you get this out early, you make your opponent sacrifice their lands. They can't recover. It's usually your best target. Well, more recently, we've gained Rust Goliath in the format. It's a 10 mana 10/10, which is huge for Pauper. And it's also a prototype creature, which means you could choose to play it for its prototype cost, which is 3 green for a 3/5 that has Reach and Trample. It always has Reach and Trample, just a heads up. So, or at least I believe that's how it works. We'll find out later. I'm sure I'll play it for its prototype cost at some point. But the fact that it's a 10/10 trample in Pauper that you can reanimate with Exhume, I think this card has potential. Yes, it's an artifact. It can be destroyed by a Braid or Smash to Dust or whatever, but I still think that a 10/10 trample is pretty good. Well, what makes this deck function? So we have Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, and Simian Spirit Guide, like I mentioned, for speed, but it's really the fact that we have Faithless Looting, a card banned out of Modern. It's so good. It's banned out of Modern. We get to play it here in Pauper. So we're able to put Crushers and Rust Goliaths to the graveyard pretty quickly. But more recently, the deck gained another red tool, which is Bitter Reunion. So in the past, these decks used to run things like Dragon's Breath to give their creatures haste. You don't have to play a garbage card in your deck anymore because Bitter Reunion comes with that text sort of tacked onto an already decent spell. So when it enters the battlefield, you discard a card and draw 2, and then you could say pay 1 and sacrifice it and give all of your creatures haste. So if you play 2 Exhumes on the same turn, bringing back a pair of Rust Goliaths, guess what? Give them haste that's swinging for 20. Trample. It's pretty good. So you don't have to play those ancient cards anymore, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's circle back to the mana base. So I am playing Ash Barrens, which is something that I've gained from playing Cycle Storm a bunch. And what I've learned is that it really just allows you to play more colors, and especially splash colors, efficiently in Pauper. You could choose to run a bunch of tap lands that tap for a white or a red or whatever, but I found that Ash Barrens is usually just the best thing because you gain consistency. So I can play a Dark Ritual, cycle Ash Barrens, go get the plains, play Late to Dinner. That's an option that I have. And that's just really nice that my mana sources don't come into play tapped when I'm trying to be a fast deck. And I think that's important because right now Pauper is a fast format with red being the tip of the iceberg. So we have 1 plains, 4 Ash Barrens, so that's 5 mana sources. Lotus Petal will be 9. Chromatic Star, 13 white sources for 4 cards is actually pretty good on rate. You might think that it's not, but this is very, very acceptable. So we are playing late to dinner, just a hint of a splash. And then we also have Apostle's Blessing in the sideboard. This is mostly to protect against decks playing something like Snuff Out, because Snuff Out, I mean, we're not playing any black creatures, so we need a way to hedge there. We also have Unexpected Fangs for the red decks. Imagine putting this on your 10/10 Trampler. Holy moly, I hope we get to live the dream. We have Pyroblast for those red decks in the format, and then a Braid and Smash to Dust are mostly to blow up Relic or Progenitus, but they also have added utility on wiping your opponent's board or killing a defender, aka Wells combo, as well as a Braid just being good against mostly everything in the format. So that's what we're doing here today. If you have any suggestions, I'm always open to that. Leave those in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. But that's what I've got. So I hope you enjoyed the deck today, and I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw. I'm actually going to keep this. I know that it seems a little bit fishy, but we can use the Ash Barrens to go get a mountain. We have Faithless Looting, and it looks like we're probably facing fairies. 2 on the top. That's dangerous. Take a draw. Bitter Reunion. We'll play the Swamp and pass the turn. Alright, so it's not fairies, it's likely just familiars. Cycle the Ash Barrens, we'll go grab that mountain. Take a draw. That was an amazing hit. Okay, Faithless Looting. Discard both of these and we'll pass the turn. I think I want to get rid of one Megalodon here. They are a 4 snap deck, so the Spined Megalodon might be the better call, I'm not sure. Okay, so they're actually not familiars. This is a deck where I think Rust Goliath is actually very good. Caw Gates. Reveals a bunch of copies of Squadron Hawk. Our turn. You discard a copy of Prismatic Strands. So I was going to say that most of us play 2 copies of Spell Pierce, and that it's a card we have to respect here, but we drew the Simian Spirit Guide, which means we don't have to respect it. And here it is. Boom, get wrecked. Pay. In comes the Rust Goliath. Boom. 10/10 Reach Trample. Main phase Brainstorm, okay. And a Squadron Hawk to shuffle. So they're probably going to put those 2 Squadron Hawks back in their deck, and then this Squadron Hawk will pull them out. And they did in fact find 2 more. So this Brainstorm was essentially Ancestral Recall. They play an island, okay. This thing has reach. Block. Ulamog's Crusher. Well, let's start off with attacking. Swing better. Swing. They're going to take 10. Playing the Swamp out to avoid Spell Pierce. Discard the Crusher. Oh my, we hit Exhume. Am I supposed to play the Exhume now? I think so. Because next turn they could have Counterspell up. Most lists only have 2 copies of Spell Pierce. I think I'm going to get the Megalodon. Ulamog's Crusher is obviously very good, but their deck has Journey to Nowhere in it, and I just like the idea of getting something that's hexproof. And I can always find the white source for late to dinner off the Spined Megalodon. I might be overthinking this. That's entirely possible. Another Brainstorm. So they get to put back the 4th copy Squadron Hawk again, and then pull it out of their deck with the Squadron Hawk that they'll play for number 3. So this Brainstorm was essentially draw 3, put 1 back. Journey to Nowhere, so they found one. There goes my Goliath. They play another tap land. So they chose to not play a Squadron Hawk here, which is pretty interesting. A white source here could be huge, because we could put Crusher into play and then give it haste. So Lotus Petal... it's really it at the moment that I can think of. Let's play another Bitter Reunion. I'll discard the Rust Goliath. This card will draw 2, and I hit... Oh my, that was perfect. Okay, so we'll play a pair of Lotus Petals here. Okay, white. white, late to dinner, Ulamog's Crusher, get that food token, give our creatures haste. And fun thing about Prismatic Strands is you name a color and then that color is prevented. Ulamog's Crusher is colorless, so you cannot prevent it with a Prismatic Strands. Annihilator 2. They sacrificed an island and now we get a free scry. I don't think I want a Chromatic Star. We'll put that on the bottom. They're going to use the Prismatic Strands here most likely, or they could just Trump Block. Or they could Trump Block and use Strands and stay at 10. That's what they're going to do. Okay. Swing, swing. Sacred Cat that does Trump Block Ulamog's Crusher well. The Modern Age. Sure. Discards another Prismatic Strand. So they found themselves another Time Walk here between the Sacred Cat and the Strands. Dawnbringer Cleric, so they can exile the Rust Goliath. Or Faithless Looting. They choose the Faithless Looting. Okay. Draw. Crusher. Unfortunately, we're still 3 mana short of using that. So let's go to combat. Attack. We get our triggers. So we'll scry 1. That makes me 1 mana short of Hardcasting Crusher. I don't hate it. Annihilator 2. Sacrifices the Modern Age. That's a little surprising. And the Dawnbringer Cleric. So once again, they can block with Sacred Cat and then use the Prismatic Strands for the Megalodon. Ooh, they choose to not. And they're going to just go to 2 life here. Okay. We'll pass. Another copy of the Modern Age. And a concession. Love it. Okay. So we've taken game number 1. Smash Dust seems very good in this matchup. We're also interested in the Pyroblasts. A lot of cards. Alright, so we're at 66 at the moment. I think in a blue matchup we want to slow down just a hair, so I think it's okay to board out Dark Ritual. You want the red sources because they are essentially part of your mana base in a way, because of Faithless Looting and this Bitter Reunion, but they also help you surprise Pyroblast. Now let's change this to card view. I prefer it. It's just for some reason Magic Online defaults to this. So we'll switch that back. Now we're at 62. Could board in the Abrades. Let's try 2 Chromatic Stars. I don't love cutting white sources, but I think we need ways to beat Relic. This is a mulligan. This hand doesn't do anything, so we're going to 5. This is the best hand we've seen, but it's not ideal. We're so far away from late to dinner, I think you're allowed to bottom that and a Crusher. Turn 1 tap land. Let's looting. We're looking for Black Source plus Exhume. Well, we found one of them. Discard Crusher and Bitter Reunion. Pass. Plains. Dawnbringer Cleric is so brutal here. Admittedly, I could have waited to do it all in one turn, but being so low on resources, I felt like I needed to. I did not mean to skip my turn like that. That was an accident. Yeah, this is probably a lost game. Squadron Hawk. Okay. Let's dress. Let's see what they're working with here. Take the Modern Age. Play a Chromatic Star. We'll pass the turn. They're swinging for 2. We'll fall to 17. Them drawing another blue source doesn't play into my plan of letting them keep the Hydroblast. Draw for turn. It's a Lotus Petal. Let's cycle the Chromatic Star. See if I can draw into something. Pitch the Spirit Guide. I'm going to allow them to Hydroblast the looting. Yep. They swing 3. We go to 14. Another Hawk. And they pass holding open 2 mana. That's pretty scary. Alright, Bitter Reunion. Counterspell. Pass the turn. We need another Faithless Looting. I had a feeling that they had the Counterspell because they didn't play Preordain, but the position that we're in, we weren't allowed to wait. Just because, like, they have 4 power in play and we're not doing anything. They kept 2 cards on top. Yeah, we're not going to be able to outrace this. Yikes. Draw step. Alright, next game. On the play, do we want Dark Rituals? Maybe I can board out a couple copies of Late to Dinner and then just board out Chromatic Star entirely. Brings me to 62. Maybe try Noah Braids. On the play for game 3. If this hand had a discard outlet, it would be insane. I think we just have to mulligan. It's unfortunate. This hand doesn't... If the Pyroblast were lands, this hand would be very good. I think we have to go to 5 again. To 5. Okay, this actually isn't that bad. So we can get rid of looting and 1 Exhume. We just need to rip a black source here. We have turn 2 Crusher. Pitch the Spirit Guide, Bitter Reunion. Come on, deck. Please give me Swamp. Was not Swamp, but if we draw Swamp, we have a Hasty Crusher. Come on, deck. Please give me Swamp. Pretty please. Unfortunate. Lotus Petal would have worked there. Swamp. Brainstorm. So you're saying there's a chance. Come on. Basic Plains. Sacred Cat. Come on, deck. Please. That does it. Cycle the Ash Barrens. Grab the Swamp. Play it. Dark Ritual. Exhume. Give the Crusher haste. Swing better. Okay, they're down to 1 land. Hopefully this is good enough, because I'll be honest, we don't have a whole lot going on after this. They have land 2. Brainstorm, they don't have the removal spell. Yes! We got there, the mulligan to 5. We were victorious. You love to see it. Mardu Reanimator gets there. We're 1-0. Stick around for the next 4. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 2, we're on the draw. Unfortunately, this hand is not good enough. You could try to do the draw discard plan with the Rust Goliath. Actually, I kind of don't hate it. I was going to mulligan, but let's try it out. We have 2 draw steps to hit land 2. Mountain into Voldaren Epicure. Okay, so this is a matchup where they can't answer the Rust Goliath, assuming that it is in fact mono red. We just have to draw land 2. There it is. Alright, we will discard Rust Goliath. Monastery Swift Spear into Lava Spike. Ouch, I'll take 3 going to 13. Lotus Petal? Dark Ritual? Assuming Spirit Guide? Nope. Pass the turn. Reckless Impulse. Land Needle Drop. So we'll take 3 going to 10. They'll needle drop us down to 9, and they still have 2 cards in hand. They're not going to needle drop. They're just going to cast the bolt. Okay, I'm at 6. They have 1 card. There's a looting, but I don't have a red source. So we'll put the Goliath in play. I need to draw a mountain next turn. I'm at 6. We'll block the Swift Spear. At 5. Oh, so they can use the needle drop now. Now I'm dead to Fire Blast. Or just 2 burn spells. Too slow versus mono red. Unfortunate. Alright, we definitely want Unexpected Fangs. We don't need Duress in this matchup. So, something you could think about is, do you even want the Abrades? They play 3 relics in the board, and they do buy us time. But I think they're decent. 64 cards. Try running out 2 creatures, maybe. Maybe like 2 Chromatic Star just because they take up time. Try this out. Game 2 on the play. It's not bad. We need a discard outlet, but it has everything else. I just don't know if that's necessarily good enough. Let's mulligan. So we have turn 1 Bitter Reunion off a Lotus Petal and a Spirit Guide. I think you're supposed to go to 5. Alright, 5 cards. These are probably the best 5 we've seen. Keep. Get rid of Spirit Guide and the Dark Ritual. I'm actually going to hold the looting for a turn just so we can get 1 card deeper, because I don't want to just mill 2 random cards. I want to try to hit a creature. We'll take 1. Draw. Cycle the Ash Barrens. Let's just go grab a swamp. Pass. I'm just trying to increase my odds of discarding a creature with this looting. And they have Relic. That's disappointing. Okay. It's a real bummer. We do have 4 effects that would destroy it. We just, unfortunately, don't have them in hand. Land number 3. Yeah, that's a lightning bolt. I'm at 14. They attack for 2. I'll go to 12. Another bolt. They have 3 in hand. Let's play this looting. The problem is they have the Relic. And I'm short on mana of putting Crusher into play. So I think I'm supposed to get rid of these 2. And like just pray to spike another Dark Ritual next turn. Assuming I even get another turn. That's a Chain Lightning. They attack for 2, I'll go to 3. Just kill me if you've got it. Okay, so that's going to be round number 2. We are 1-1. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Commander events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's on the web, which means no downloads required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe. Round number 3, we're on the play. Let's bounce back after that tough loss. So once again, we don't have the discard outlet. We do have a redraw with Chromatic Star. I think I'm going to try this. We have 2 draws on turn 2 to hit one of our 8 discard outlets. They have kept 7. We'll play the Mountain into Chromatic Star. Basic Forest. Wild Growth. So they're on the Land Destruction deck. We kept a 1-lander. Duress. Let's filter for a black. Draw. Lotus Petal. Play this. We'll take the discard or the land destruction spell. Unfortunately, pass the turn. I guess I could always do it the old-fashioned way, where we just go to discard. Another Utopia Sprawl. That was their draw step. Llanowar Visionary. Draw. Exhume. I mean, that's good, but okay. So 3, 4, 5 mana. Llanowar Visionary. And another Sprawl. They're pretty close to this Onoid Altasaur. Draw. There's a looting. Okay. Discard the 2 creatures. Can I play both effects here? I believe I can. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Exhume. Bring back the Crusher. And then late to dinner on the Spined Megalodon. Pass the turn. So they have 7 mana here. They can play the dinosaur. It's a 6/5. Need them to reveal something that doesn't matter at this point, like Utopia Sprawl. That was perfect. Okay. Another Crusher. Let's do what we do best. Crush, crush. Triggers. So now they have to sacrifice 2 permanents, so probably 2 Utopia Sprawls. Or they're going to sacrifice a creature. Okay. Don't think we want the land. They're going to take 13 going to 7. And I'm going to flashback this Faithless Looting. Discard a pair of Crushers. Pass. Mana number 7 once again. Boarding Party. Okay. Into a Jeweled Thief. Let's see what they do here. They're attacking. So they want to race. Oh, we drew another Crusher. So if I swing out, I'm dead on the attack back. So I think I'm supposed to leave back the Megalodon and only attack with the Crusher. The Boarding Party was a very good draw for the opponent there. I guess I wasn't dead on the crackback. I had the food token. Might have been a misplay on my part. No, I was dead on the crackback. Who am I? No, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, sorry, I get in my own head sometimes. Also, the food token from late to dinner coming up here. Alright, well, we're going to gain our life. You can destroy my land. They choose to not attack. Ah, and the land ended up being relevant. So now we'll swing out. Okay. Annihilator triggers. We don't need the Bitter Reunion. That can go on the bottom. So they have to block at least 1. This kills both their creatures. Okay. I'm down. Yep. They're at 2, and I have a giant shark in play. The Abyss. Okay. A little bit better. We want the effects to blow up relics now. Take out the duress. Pretty easy swap. I think after playing this deck a little bit, I would consider going down to 8 fatties. I would probably cut 2 copies of Rust Goliath. And I want to put in at least 2 copies of Insolent Neonate, probably 4, to make hands like this a little bit better. Because this would just be turn 2 Ulamog's Crusher if we had some more Neonates in our deck. I mean, I think I'm going to keep this. Because we can just go turn 1 discard, turn 2 large creature. Discard the Crusher. Alright, they play a tap land, another Arbor Elf. And they're getting in for 1, okay. Draw a step, it's a mountain. Play the swamp. Lotus Petal. Probably could have played the mountain. I think I'd rather they blow up the mountain than the swamp, but I'm not actually sure. I mean, if you have a Fairy Macabre, like, you don't have to use it in response to a Lotus Petal. Exhume. Okay. Pass. It's crushing time. They have 5 mana available at the moment. 3 mana, 4 mana. Alright, so they're going to use all 5. Okay, Avenging Hunter, the initiative. Another Crusher. Swing. You must annihilate 2. Okay, so they just want to race with the initiative mechanic. So we get to search our deck for a basic. Let's go grab our planes in case we draw late to dinner. And then we'll play a pair of Chromatic Stars. Pass. They have made 3 mana. What is the play? Alright, up to 4. They're going to destroy my land. Sure. They're swinging for 5. I'll go to 14. This gives them the Undercity back, and I imagine that they're going to do the room where they get 2+1/+1 counters. They are. Alright, draw time. Simeon Spirit Guide. Let's add a black mana. See what we can draw into here. Braid's not bad. But another black mana. That was good. So currently they're putting me to 1 next turn. So 7 plus 5 is 13. So, okay. It didn't even let me pick modes there. I guess I didn't have modes for the other, the other 2. Swing with the Crusher. So now they go down to 1 land. And they're at 4. I get the Undercity back. What do the other rooms even do here? Alright, let's find out. Scry 2 are 2+1/+1 counters. I guess the Scry 2 just doesn't matter here. We'll Forge. So as I mentioned, they can put me to 1 here, but that is not lethal. We win! We are 2-1. Reanimator looking pretty good at the moment. Let's try to get the last 2. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match 4, we're on the draw, and this hand doesn't do anything. Ship it back. No discard outlet, not even a reanimation spell. This is good, but we don't have a discard outlet. I'm going to keep it anyway, and we'll get rid of the late to dinner. Just looking to draw into a Faithless Looting here. Or obviously the Bitter Reunion as well. Okay, looks like we're facing the Gruul Panza deck again. Draw. Not a discard outlet. Yeah, this deck definitely wants Insolent Neonate. So we need to go up to 12 discard outlets. I mean, the deck's performing fine so far, but it just needs more consistency. And that's what Insolent Neonate would provide. Another Highland Forest. You have an Arbor Elf. Come on, looting, please. Alright, let's add a black mana, draw a card. I think we're pressured into dressing here. Because we're still 2 turns away from discarding Crusher naturally. We'll take away the... Honestly, if they blow up my land, I don't even care. I guess the Wild Growth doesn't stop them. Okay. Play the Plains, we'll pass the turn. Our best draw just became Bitter Reunion. Wild Growth on the Highland Forest. They can make 4 mana here, so it could be Visionary plus Arbor Elf. Or they drew another Panza effect. Okay. I mean, we don't really need those lands. It's not the end of the world. Come on, deck. Pass the turn. Forest. We know all 3 cards in their hand. Visionary. They attack for 1, sure thing. And there's the other elf. So they have Scred and 1 unknown in hand. Draw for turn. There we go. Okay. Bitter Reunion will discard the Crusher. Play Lotus Petal. Play Petal. Let's Duress to take the Scred. They have a Forest in hand. Dark Ritual. Exhume. Give my creature haste. Let's brawl. Swing. Trigger. Discards wild growth or sacrifices wild growth on another land. Okay. So they still have 6 mana going into next turn. 7 with the forest in their hand. They are looking for a solid draw step here. They swing 4. I will fall to 15. And instead they concede. Alright. Once again, I think we just want these effects. Take out Duress. Let's hit submit. No creature, no reanimate effect, no discard outlet. Mulligan to 6. Okay, I'm down. Keep, and we'll get rid of the Ash Barrens. I mean, we have 4 swamps, 4 Lotus Petals to draw into for a turn 2 10/10. I guess it would have to be a Lotus Petal for turn 2. When it's on 5 cards. Basic Forest. Arbor Elf. Draw. Okay, well now I guess I still don't have the black source. My bad. Looting. For Goliath, and honestly, I don't think we need the Dark Ritual anymore. Let's get rid of that. They play a tap land, so they have 2 mana available here. Utopia Sprawl, still 2 mana. Give me a black source, please. We have 4 Lotus Petals, 4 Swamps. Draw. Was not it. Okay, so we're going to play a Bitter Reunion. Discard a Late to Dinner. Ay. Opponent plays a land, so now they have 6 mana available with 2 cards in hand. Okay. That does stop me from flashing back looting, so I mean, that wasn't completely useless. But still love a swamp. They have 1 card. Guess we'll kill their creature. Pass. Okay. Swamp, please. And I draw the looting that I can't cast because they blew up my mountain. So they've hit this land again, which means that now if they had drawn a boarding party in the last 2 turns, they can play it. Alright, so they're just completely hellbent now. They have no hand. We're never casting these Late to Dinners. Oh, wow. Okay, clock just, they drew... They're probably one of their fastest pieces. I guess boarding party would have been better. But this was a very good draw for them. Alright, deck, please. We have to pass. I think I'm probably just dead. I guess technically, like, my best draw would be Lotus Petal or Mountain. Basically, I want to be able to looting and Exhume in the same turn. Alright, so I can guarantee a 10/10 haste here. But I'm dead on board if I attack. That's the downside, which is why I think I have to looting here. And hope to looting into the nuts. Okay, looting. Doesn't do it. Yeah, I'm just dead on board. Discard the Spined Megalodon and a Late to Dinner. I needed Lotus Petal land there. Like, that actually would have been very good. Yeah, I'm just dead. We can go to the next one. So with Exhume, I do get a 10/10 Trampler. They also get back their Arbor Elf. So it's, like, it's not great. I'm going to resubmit. Game 3. No discard outlet. Or reanimate. We'll mulligan. So this hand is just missing the reanimation spell. We'll keep. Get rid of the Samine Spirit Guide. Opponent with a mulligan to 5. To 4. So they're just hard going for graveyard hate, I guess. We'll just play the mountain and pass. Forest. Utopia Sprawl. We'll cycle this. We'll go grab a swamp. Draw step. Play the Bitter Reunion, discarding the Spined Megalodon. A pair of Dark Rituals. They have 3 lands, or 3 mana. 3 cards in hand. In our upkeep, let's cycle the Ashbirds. We'll go get the Plains for late to dinner. Draw step. Okay. I'm wondering if we could possibly hardcast that. So next turn I play, this is 5/8. We're 2 mana short of hardcasting Rust Goliath. They now have 4 mana, 3 cards. Alright, so now we're 3 mana short. So we're probably off the hardcast plan. Draw. Let's, go get another land out. Play this. I'm gonna sit on the Chromatic Star. Alright, they have the initiative. I really don't want to lose to a mulligan to 4, so deck, let's draw well here. It's worth noting if I draw Crusher, I can hardcast the Crusher and give it haste, I believe. No, I can only hardcast it. I lied to you. Draw step. Another Rust Goliath. Let's filter for a white in case I draw late to dinner. Oh yeah. That does it? Yeah, I can hardcast the Rust Goliath. 3 Dark Rituals is 7 mana. Here we go. Love it. Triple Dark Ritual. Who would have known? Okay. Llanowar Visionary. And another Llanowar Visionary. So they can trade their board here for my Rust Goliath. Draw step. Let's swing. It looks like they're going to. They're going to trade their board for my Rust Goliath. Sure. They have 2 cards in hand. Play the monkey. The monkey's very important when there's an Undercity on the table. I will lose 5 life from the trap. So I could have held the monkey in holding it for surprise, but I don't want to have to sacrifice the Bitter Reunion if I don't have to. Utopia Sprawl, they still have 2 cards in hand. Uh-oh. What is this? Annoyed Altasaur. Thermokarst. Okay. Draw, Exhume? Yay. Okay. We will Exhume. Bring back the Rust Goliath. They get to bring back their Avenging Hunter here, which is kind of annoying. So they get to go deeper into Archive, so they get to draw a card here. Use the Bitter Reunion. Wait, is this... What? Do I not know how Prototype works? I think that this is a 3/5 right now. Did I just... No, it can't be a 3/5, right? I'm going to leave back the Spirit Guide. Okay. So I gain the initiative. Alright, so they did take 10. It just changed a weird color for no reason. Am I dead on board? I might be. So... No, they're not near Trap. Ignore me. Sorry. I'm just so used to Trap being the last mode, but they would go to Throne of the Dead 3, which is not the same thing. No blocks. I will go to 4, and you can Throne of the Dead 3. Come on, missed. No creatures. Uh-oh. That was not no creatures. I believe we've lost. Draw. Looting. What are 2 perfects here? I can't even think of 2 cards that would be winning cards here. Let's cast it. Doesn't do it. I think they've got me. Swing better. Okay, so I gain the initiative. Our monkey becomes a 4/4, but that's just not good enough here. We pass. That'll do. So we are now 2-2. Let's try to win match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final round, we're on the draw, and unfortunately this is not a keep. This is not much better. I think I'm supposed to just go to 5. Don't love this. Keep. Dark Ritual Duress on the bottom. Uh-oh, and we're facing a blue deck. Not feeling good about this at the moment. Chew on the bottom, okay. Swamp. Late to dinner. We need a land so we can cast this Bitter Reunion on turn 2. The Modern Age. Discards land. I could use one of those right now. No such luck. Drunkel Cove. Are we facing no, this is actually looking like familiars and not Caw Gate. Bitter Reunion. Discard the Crusher. Okay, so Chromatic Star does make white or black for us. 4 open mana, and they're just passing. Looting. Crusher. Late to dinner? Not really sure. Play a star. Pass. They swing 2. They have 6 cards in hand. We need a window. 5 open mana is not a window. Make a black, draw a card. Okay, that's a good one. Let's attempt a Duress. Snap, Archaeomancer, Deep Analysis. We'll take the snap. Play the star. Alright, and now we'll make a black, draw a card. Another Bitter Reunion. Dark Ritual. Exhume. Get back a Crusher. Give it haste. Swing trigger. Okay, so this leaves them with enough mana to play the Archaeomancer, but they can't cast the snap immediately. Yep. So now they pick up the snap. Evolving Wilds. Draw step. Bitter Reunion will discard a Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, swing trigger. They're at 4. We just have to pass. The Lotus Petal off the top probably wins us the game. Draw. There it is. They have Snap, Deep Analysis, a Plains, an Island, 1 unknown. Late to dinner on the Crusher. Pitch the Spirit Guide, give them both haste. I mean, one of them doesn't need haste, but the other one does. And just like that, we're up a game over familiars. The Snap deck. Definitely want Pyroblast here. Side out. What if we just board out all the late to dinners? How crazy is that? Board out the Plains and like 2 Chromatic Stars. Let's try it. Might be a little too risky, but late to dinner is like kind of risky against them just because they are a counterspell deck and your targets can be hit by snap very easily, so you leave yourself open. Alright, well, we don't have the Exhume, but this hand has pretty much everything else. We'll keep. Island pass. There's the Exhume. This could actually be a turn 1. Looting. Well, I think it'd be foolish to go for a turn 1 now. Discard the Crusher and Dark Ritual. They play Chancery, sure. And they cycle in Ash Barrens. Draw step. Another Pyroblast. Let's cast Duress. Okay, liking my odds here. If I get to untap with this Crusher, I don't think we could lose. Exhume. Pass. Woo! 3-2. Alright, so let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this list. I felt like Goblin Chieftain, Mind Bend, Junk Rares. Okay, so the strength was, I felt like the Rust Goliath was pretty good. Spined Megalodon was fine, is your tertiary creature. I thought the strength of this deck was, it was pretty fast, right? Like when you look at other Reanimator builds, and I've even played Blue-Black Reanimator in the past, they were slower. This build, much like Legacy Rakdos Reanimator, was very fast and efficient at what it does. The weakness, in my opinion, was in fact late to dinner and trying to play white. White really bit us in the butt a few times. So I'm not sold on late to dinner. Our deck also didn't have enough discard outlets. So I've come up with a list in between match 4 and 5 that I think is probably a little bit better. This is straight Rakdos. There's no late to dinner. Instead, you have 3 copies of Rise Again from M21. It's 5 mana. You don't get a food token, but you don't have to splash white either. And then when you're not playing white, you don't have to run the Plains, but you also don't have to run Chromatic Star. So instead of running Chromatic Star, you get 4 more discard outlets in Insolent Neonate. That also, like, you get to cantrip off 1 mana instead of paying 2 as well. So it's just raising consistency. And then with doing all this, you have 2 open slots. I ended up only running 3 Rise Again and then cutting 1 Rust Goliath to move 2 Unexpected Fangs to the main deck versus red. And that opens up 2 sideboard slots. And this was a card I was thinking about for the main deck, but ultimately didn't end up playing, which is Lightning Axe. So you can Put a creature to the graveyard, so it's a discard outlet. Obviously, it deals 5 to a creature, but I think it's a pretty interesting choice. There's other ones that you can run that are black that are sorcery speed that destroy a creature or a planeswalker, but I think being an instant is probably a little bit better. And you have Force Immune Spirit Guide, so you have more red sources anyway. But I thought that this deck list was a lot of fun. I would play this again. Like this list here, like this seems pretty decent to me. I would definitely run this again. If you have any ideas or any creatures that you think might be better, let me know in the comment section down below. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.